everybody's been talking about world building. Severance did an amazing job with it, and I think low-key put world building in like the modern vernacular a little bit. Like I see non-industry people talking about world building all the time, and maybe they were and I just didn't know, but I'm just noticing it a lot more.
Yeah.
But well, welcome first, and just wanted to like ask you as a DP, what is world building, and like let's define categories and figure out what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's maybe why Severance is doing what it's doing, and I think people are just latching on to the idea and really the world that they tried to create, which is talking about corporate lifestyle, kind of going to the extremes of that. And I think all the elements that are going viral right now, which is the music, it's the dolly shot that is part of what transforms the innie to the outie, and it's the cold weather, all these things that like are becoming part of that world. I think people are talking about it because they want a piece of what's making it go viral. They're wanting a piece of how it is kind of transcending culture. Like even if it's at a point right now where I haven't seen this in a long time. Like we're coming out of an era where shows and streaming, it's kind of at a crossroads, and there hasn't been a show like this that's captivated an audience the way that this has. And I think part of that is because of the strong world building decisions that the creators of the show sought to do, and I think that's why it's like so impactful right now.
So what even is world building in storytelling and filmmaking?
I think it's choices that define the playground by which the characters of the story operate. And I think the whole goal of cinematographers and the whole goal of even those who do the music, it's part of supporting and giving those actors and their stories a place to live. I think that's how I define it. It's something where you need to give them that platform for them to do their jobs, because ultimately acting and really movies, TV, it's about the story. It's about storytelling and doing that beginning, middle to end kind of format that we as humans, we love stories. That's what we want. And the world building part of it is using the visual medium that movies and TVs are to give them a place to be. And so that's kind of how I'd put it, is just really we're the support cast in allowing them to do their jobs.
That's cool too, hearing this as like, obviously I direct in DP, but I would consider myself mostly a director, and my job is basically giving the actors and the actresses like a playing field. And so I think it's like why me and you have been able to work on a lot of projects together. It's because we have the same philosophy of world building, which is basically, if I'm getting you right, is just setting these guardrails so the people in front of the camera can perform in the best way that they possibly can. And so the viewer is essentially completely immersed in the story.
Yeah.
But I think when people think of world building though, what they don't realize is that, I'm gonna use the word negative, but it's not quite negative. Let's talk about when you build a world, you build limitations.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what the first thing that came to mind because I think a lot of what we do is as artists is instinctual. This is a cool opportunity now for both of us to kind of like talk through like the kinds of things that we think that we are feeling naturally. And I think the first thing that I thought of was these, especially in like the scale that we operate, those limitations and the choices that we make in those limitations allow for us to make our world building decisions. Because in a sense, if you have too much freedom, there's no freedom at all. And I think what's really cool about the places we get to operate is we can determine from the start, and a lot of the projects that I think through is like, and sometimes it comes to me so fast and sometimes it doesn't, but what is like this project, almost even as simple as thinking, what what is its thing? What's its one thing that's going to draw you in and allow for the message of this project to be shared in a dynamic and compelling way that plays within the rules of what we're establishing. We don't, and this is what I just said, like we don't have Denis Villeneuve budget, but that doesn't mean that they don't also come up and run into the same kinds of problems. The problems just kind of scale up. So for us, we're trying to make decisions early on with the limitations that we have, whether that is the camera, whether that's the lens, whether that's how we're going to move the camera. Even as something now that's become a hot topic is like recording formats. Like the difference between what an open gate frame looks like versus what 16:9 looks like versus what a 239 cinematic aspect ratio crop. Those all have a play and can be done with a lot of the gear that's available now. So it's about making strong choices with what we already have, and we're like in a really cool part of history where some of those parts of filmmaking are available to us in ways that they couldn't be before.
It almost feels like essentially you have these we have budgets, right? Like we have budgets for projects and they're limited.
Yeah.
When you world build properly,
Yeah.
when you set your guardrails for your show, for your commercial, for your documentary properly,
Yeah.
you maximize the creative return on investment of that number.
Yeah.
So let's say you have $5,000 for a commercial,
Yeah.
right? Like just, not even a commercial. I mean, that's just like, you're going to make a social media video for someone.
Yeah.
Local for $5,000. You can, if you set your limitations, you can actually make that 5K look like a lot more.
Yeah. And that limitation could be as simple as like, I'm going to use the camera that I own and the one lens that I own. And I'm not going to spend money on getting the biggest, best camera. It's, okay, that's my limitation. I know I'm going to shoot it on this particular camera because that's all I own. That's all I have. How do I make that work for me and allowing that budget limitation to play its best? Because as we know, the location, your talent plays more of a role into what we do than, having the right camera in a lot of scenarios. And so we would much rather have, an awesome location and like a bare bones camera setup than something that is gonna, a camera setup that's gonna blow your mind. But there's nothing in front of it that's gonna help build that world. Like the world itself is what you put around and put in the frame as much as it is like what captures the frame. But they do go hand in hand. You just got to know when's the time to push, when's the time to pull in and allow that to be something that is in the frame and you can see the strong choices that were made to get things in that frame.
That's amazing. I think that's a great way to land the plane, and that's why I'm so thankful that I get to work with you, because we get to see that a lot, and I think like world building gets more and more exciting.
Yeah.
The more you invest in it, the more you learn.
Yeah.
Like the more you start seeing, oh my gosh, like like a project with this budget 2 years ago, I got this out of it.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting a lot more.
Yeah. That experience doing it over and over and being able to it's almost like you're diverting traffic. You're diverting creative ideas and going, okay, I've done this before, I can go this direction with it, or this really worked this one time I did it. So you're at the source kind of diverting like where that creative traffic's gonna go. And that's a cool part of where we're at now. The world's become a little easier to build the more you do it because, it just takes time. This is like an art that's growing and evolving, and it's really cool to be able to like be at the front and know it can be this kind of video, it can be like this, the world can feel like this. And all those decisions that you make getting into that world that everyone will talk about, which is camera, lens, movement, art department, everything, those become easier to find and funnel.
That's beautiful. Good stuff.
Boom.
Stay tuned, because we're going to have 2 bonus episodes where we talk about 2 different projects where we built a certain world and how did that work for us, what didn't work, what worked, and those will be quick. But if you want to know more, there's going to be 2 follow-up episodes. So